What's up, guys? It's Brendan from Market Makers. Happy Friday, 2:30 in the afternoon, Eastern Time, my friends. Guys, Bitcoin is starting to descend some. I gave you my target box. In this video, we're going to go over the overall crypto health, the market update, and what I expect to happen for this weekend, okay? So the last couple of videos, I focused on the macro conditions. I told you the Dow was beginning to slide, the SPX started to slide, the dollar pumped, hit a high for the year at 95.18. It is now around 95.12, so it's staying elevated, okay? But, we have this on the daily time frame. Let's start off here and we'll zoom in. We have this bearish pattern, the black swan, okay? And as you can see, price is descending. Now, I gave you this target box and this red trend line saying if we break this red trend line and close below it, which we have now, you're going to see price descend, okay? Price descended through my fib circle. As you can see, it's used it many times for support. The retracement line Fibonacci has been very accurate on this daily time frame. Bitcoin's been respecting the technicals of Fibonacci. That's why I've been able to track it so accurately. And now we're on a little bit of a pump. And let me show you where this little bit of a pump came from after we fell down. I can go ahead and draw this for you. So we can draw this. You can see this bullish pattern, and I'll explain it to you what I think's going on here, okay? This is a bullish white swan. So you have a bearish black swan and a bullish white swan. Again, a daily pattern, a much smaller pattern, as you can see. Doesn't encompass nearly as many bars in the pattern, but you're pumping up from it. And you say, but Brendan, this is a daily pattern. Shouldn't we get a big push up? Yes, you could, but again, the macro conditions that I just mentioned, as well as all the FUD that's coming out this week from the hedge funds, the big banks saying Bitcoin's overpriced. But I want to give you some bullish news as well, because I don't think the descent's going to go on forever, and I'll tell you where it could potentially reverse at. But let's figure out where this is hitting its head at right now. Where is price getting rejected from? Because it's not touching anything on the daily. To see that, you got to zoom in to the 1 hour time frame. 1 hour time frame, I gave you this bearish pattern, this 5-0 pattern. We never got up to the pattern reversal zone. Up here is if price would have came to this green retracement line in the pitchfork or to the point D, the PRZ, you would see price potentially either come up a little bit more, hit its head on this GAN, and then start to reverse, okay? But it never came up, but almost got there, never came up, and it fell. Well, where is it hitting its head now, guys? This is why you have to look at multiple time frames, have your charts up, and be prepared to look at this. It's hitting its head on the 200 moving average. You see this? The 200 moving average. And now it's struggling at the 63.8 GAN resistance, which is married to this 63.747, where Bitcoin, I went over this last week, Bitcoin keeps struggling at this level. Okay, you have multiple rejections from the previous all-time high. You can see this 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's a couple bars here as well on the 1 hour time frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rejections now at that 63.747, 63.8. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. We're just tracking this closely to see where this can go, but this is where you're hitting your head. You're hitting your head on the 200. So you lost the 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame. Now this is very bearish when you start losing the 200 moving averages. I've made many videos on this, my friends, because the 200 moving average is 6.5 months of trading average, okay? So you don't want to be below that. So now you're below that in the 1 hour time frame. You're struggling at 63.8 and you're hitting your head, and you could possibly descend a little bit further. Let's zoom out and we'll come back and zoom back in for some more TA in the 1 hour time frame, because that's current trend. So we do have this other white swan, this bullish pattern down here at 61.3 with the 4 hour moving average. You see that? That's the 200 moving average on the 4 hour time frame. Price is just above it now. It's up here at 63.8. It almost came and tested an early pump here in the 4 hour time frame. Now this could already be activated because the daily white swan as well is active, okay? Because this does have a range that it can activate from, and that is within range. So this could already be activated. I was assuming it would come down and test the 61.3 or in this range anyways with the 200 moving average. So most likely, because you have the exact same pattern on the daily time frame, this pattern is already running right now, okay? So we see this. You see where price is hitting its head. It's not coming up very far. We do have the pitchfork that we fell out of that we were respecting as far as price movement, price action. We fell out of it and we're hitting our head here. And as you can see, we also hit our head on the baseline of the pitchfork, okay? Because Fibonacci points are pivot points in price. That's why there's so many Fibonacci tools: Fibonacci retracement, extension, circles, arcs, fans. There's all types of different tools you can use for Fibonacci to find these pivot points in price. So this is what we're seeing happen with the price right now. And if I look at this, let me see here. Let me go back to the 1 hour time frame, guys. 1 hour time frame. Let's pull up some of the other indicators to see exactly what's happening here. So we can see our price volume time. This is the most accurate way to track price action. This is the most accurate way, combined with the relative volume, to track controlled concentrated wealth, okay? Because Bitcoin is part of the crypto asset class that's totally controlled by institutions and whales. And we've been over this many, many times. People are tired of hearing it, but top 5 cryptos are 90+% owned by 1% of the wallets. It's a controlled market space, which is why I've made so many videos about low volume pumps, right? Back in September, when I gave you that market top of 52,000 and it pumped to 52,972, then collapsed 35% in the next couple of days. We captured that in patterns: the butterfly minus 20%, the black swan minus 17.5%. But I knew that by looking at the concentrated wealth pumping up Bitcoin, okay? Because you get these straight up bars, and eventually they roll over. Now the bullish news, I'm looking at the ATR here. I want to see this descend some, and then you're going to see some price movement. Could be down or up, okay? Sean Day is basically flat. You're buying and selling on your Z-scores going back up, or back and forth, but you can see the relative volume, the concentrated wealth. You can see this married to this. I mean, if you just look at this, here's an example. Your relative volume way out of trend, and it's the smallest candle in the volume trend, okay? The smallest candle, and it triggered the selling. So you have to marry these things together. But the bullish news is we have 4 billion with a B stable coins that have been printed and are now in exchanges, okay? So what I think is happening, what my team thinks is happening, we went over this in our live stream in our room last night. We've been talking about it for days now. There's an accumulation phase coming. What does that mean, guys? Does that mean that Bitcoin's going to go to 100K? Who knows? It could. But what it does mean is that most likely, when you marry this with the market conditions of what's happening with the Dow, what's happening with the DXY, what's happening with the big banks like Jamie Dimon coming out and saying Bitcoin's worthless, his top analyst saying Bitcoin's true value is 35K, they're letting the price go. Okay, they're letting the price go to accumulate at a lower level. What is that level? That's the trick, right? This whole market space of crypto, if you understand it for what it is and not have this religious fervor for Bitcoin must go up, and not understand what's happening in the marketplace, you can make a lot of money in this marketplace, but you have to view it for what it is, which is a controlled asset class. These big banks, the hedge funds, they don't look at the price of Bitcoin and say, wow, Bitcoin's at an all-time high, let's buy it now. No, they let the price slip. They buy it where they think they can buy it cheap enough, and then send the price back up. So we're going to slip down some, it looks like. We already have, obviously. We've already gone down over 10% in the market. So we're going to go down more, it looks like, and then you're going to see accumulation, and you will see another series of pumps on the price. Will that defeat the all-time high? I don't know. I told you I think the ceiling for right now with the market conditions is 74.5. So that would defeat the all-time high, and that would be a really, really nice pump. But you got to find your bottom first, and you're below your 200 in your 1 hour time frame. And again, you're getting close to losing it on the 4 hour time frame, and then you're going to see Bitcoin descend. So where else can it descend to, guys? What is the place where it can descend to? Well, like I said, when you start looking at these different patterns, I look at the daily time frame, the macro patterns, right? So I'm looking here at the black swan. Or let me go ahead and pull a fib on this so you can see this. Just using the pitchfork, if this candle just fell straight down, you're looking at 59K. If the candle fell straight down to the midline, you're looking at 53K. And the best way to get targets on these patterns, whether they're big patterns, small patterns, is you use a fib, okay? Because these are all Fibonacci X5 patterns. And so for this particular pattern, we're going to pull A to D on our fib. Let me grab one real quick, fib retracement. Let's pull A to D on our fib. Let's get this pattern pretty close. I don't have the magnet on, guys, so it'll be pretty close, but So here we go. So like I said yesterday, the 618, the most commonly retraced 2 fib is 50,894. It doesn't mean we're going there, guys. You can bounce anywhere. If they want to, they can send the price up from where it's at now. You got to the 236 at 62,193, okay? Your next target would be the 382, but again, you have that midline here. Your 382 is at 57,874, and then your 0.5 is at 54,384. Then you have the midline retracement line cutting through this as well in the pitchfork. And as you can see, the reason I'm pointing these out to you, and I know that's a lot to take in, right, is because all of these things that I'm mentioning have been used as support already. So that's what we're focusing on. You have to look at the accuracy. Here's your midline being used as support. These things have been used as support and resistance. Here's your retracement line being used as support and as resistance, okay? As resistance here as well. So you can see possible price action. TA would be very easy if I could just circle something and say, oh, look, Bitcoin's going to 50,584 because I said it is. That's not how it works. It could bounce down to any one of these levels and start coming back up, okay? This is why we have a room, and this is why we constantly do updates all throughout the day and throughout the week, and we trade the price action. I do think that accumulation phase is real. I do think they are going to let this price come down some. Now, again, you could just be coiling up for a big move. You could just see Bitcoin slip down a little bit further, maybe come to this 59 right here at the midline, and then start doing this and taking off and working its way up to that 74K. That 74.5 is your next benchmark for where the ceiling is, okay? Now, can blow through that ceiling, can defeat the ceiling, but that's your next benchmark. But until then, price appears to be declining. The big banks, the big institutions are signaling that they're letting the price go because they are not buying. Right now, the market is not buying, okay? We can see it in the on-chain data. There's money in the exchanges, but there's no buying. The reason that you're not getting massive moves down yet is because nobody's selling. See, there's a difference there, right? You have the holders holding, expecting 100K Bitcoin, 200K Bitcoin, and you have nobody buying. The volume is extremely low. It's always been low because it's a controlled asset class, but you can always see retail start funneling in on these bigger pumps, okay? The volume's extremely low right now, so price is easily manipulated up or down, and where you're going to see price drops, you're going to see that when the whales sell. I gave you this article earlier in the week. This happened early in the week, but it's still relevant now. And this article is basically reconfirming what I'm telling you. Bitcoin whale sailing jumps while BTC price holds 60K and buyers snap up supply. Now, granted, this is from earlier in the week, but the article's saying the same thing. Most of the volume that you're seeing is the whales selling. Okay, what are the whales, guys? They're institutions. They're institutions. They're the multi-hundred millionaire investors, multi-millionaire investors. These are the 1% wallets. They're the ones selling, and every time they sell, the market responds and the market begins to drop. And that's what you're seeing in the price action, okay? So there's just not a lot of buying yet. Now, this dissension to whatever level they want to let it go to, where it becomes a value buy for them, you can't read minds, right? I don't know what algorithms they're trading with. Nobody knows. But what you can do is just make some common sense, high probability decisions on where they could send the price. And the way we do that in pattern trading is to use trend exhaustion patterns, to use normal technical TA. Look at your trends, look at your patterns, look at look at the on-chain data. We know there's a pile of stablecoins sitting there ready to buy something. Where are they ready to buy it at? It looks to me like this weekend they may let this. If they don't start getting this up, you lost the 200 on the 1 hour, and you're going to lose the 200 on the 4 hour. They're going to let this go into the 50s, and that might be the accumulation phase where you see the buying. The buying hasn't happened yet, so I can't share it with you, okay? But once it starts happening, I will share that with you. It looks like they're accumulating, and you'll see it anyways in the price because you'll start getting price going sideways or price going up. You're not going to have price legging down like this. But I think just from the patterns that we have right now, we are looking anywhere in the 50s. And again, that midline here at 50,000, I'm sorry, the 618 at 50,894, to me, that's probably the bottom. It intersects as well with this 0.5 retracement line cutting through it. That's where I think it could get to, but it could just as easily bounce off of this 59, okay? You could come down a few thousand more points. You see accumulation, price comes back up, and then at 74.5 would be the next target, again based on Fibonacci. Okay, that's what we're tracking this with. And as you can see, our Fib circle once again being used as support. Every time we lose it, it gets bought back up. So what we need to see is a catalyst, right? If you see a catalyst in the marketplace, a catalyst, anything like an Elon Musk tweet saying, hey, Tesla's going to buy another billion in Bitcoin, Bitcoin's going to stabilize and go up. Accumulation, guys. But if Tesla comes out and says, not that it should matter, but it does for this marketplace, Bitcoin does have no value, we're going to focus on Dogecoin, you could just see Bitcoin descend more. I mean, that's just how this marketplace is when it's a controlled asset. So these guys all read each other's press reports. They all read each other's FUD, and that's what you're seeing in the price. Okay, it wasn't a coincidence. All those factors I gave you earlier in the week, that this all happened. Okay, the JP Morgan reports, the CPI report, the Fed tapering, all those things happened. The dollar hitting a new yearly high, the Dow slipping. It was very predictable this move would happen, which is why we shorted the market. Okay, we shorted it at the current top, and this is why the market is where it is. And it looks to me to be descending at least to the high 50s. You can easily see it come down to the low 50s. We don't know until we have more bars. We don't know until we see the on-chain data change. And as of last night, it's the same. Stablecoins sitting there in billions, 5 billion total. Okay, where are they going to pull the trigger at and buy? I mean, smart money, I think, is somewhere here in the 50s. So that's what we're watching, guys. Guys, if you like this type of TA, if you want to be part of our live streams, you want to be able to interact with us, we're all professional traders. We're professional market intelligence people. We have the subscription services to go over this data with you. We publish daily updates and TA all throughout the day, as well as trade signals. Check out our link in the video description to our Discord. And again, almost 6,000 people in our room. I think you would love the room, love the place. And guys, if you're looking for an exchange to trade on, check out BitGet, super liquid, no VPN, no KYC, register with an email, $630 in bonuses for you if you use our link in the video description. More TA, more videos coming soon, guys. Hope you guys had a good work day and enjoy your weekend, my friends.